If there's one constant component of most of my videos, it's my portable command, control, and communication setup that I like to call Mobile One. I like going out in the middle of nowhere, but I'm not really a big fan of roughing it. I bring with me a number of devices that require power. Since the sun is out nearly all the time during Alaska summer, it was a no-brainer to go solar. This 60-watt solar array has been doing an adequate job for me for about 4 years now. I can take it down and position it anywhere, but it usually just stays strapped to the top of the truck. The nice thing about this solar array is that all the wiring was done at the factory. It's all waterproof and weatherproof and pretty easy to put together. Simply run the wiring through a vent here in the back of the truck and just kind of let it come down to where I keep the battery. All the connections are simple and straightforward, and although it's not pretty to look at, nothing's pinched or strained, so it's all pretty safe. They provided a 30 amp fuse and a pretty ubiquitous trailer connector, and everything works just fine. Okay, so much for where the power comes from. Now let's talk about where it goes. As I said before, if at all possible, I like to leave the solar array strapped to the top of the truck. That's just one less thing I got to set up when I go camping. But fortunately, it came with a 25-foot cable, so I'm able to take the battery box out and I can get it at least that far away. Now on the right there, the blue thing, that's the charge controller. And on the left here, this did not come in the box, but that's a voltmeter, and that lets me know how much charge is actually in the battery. And as you'll find out later in this video, that's real handy to have, because you need to know when it's low so that you don't get yourself in trouble. And as you can see right now, it's a cloudy day, but I got a full charge, and it's right now it's right about 13.5 volts. The green light there on the right lets me know that the battery is charged, which is what's indicated right now. When it's charging, there's a yellow light right there that comes on, and that lets me know that things are working. So that's pretty much the basic information you need right there to make sure that you can do what you want to do. Now, since I moved this battery box in and out of the truck, I've mounted these things on with Velcro so that I can move them around. When I've got this in the truck, I like to mount both of these things on top so that if when I get out of the truck, I can just take a peek inside the window, and at a glance I can tell whether or not everything is working and okay, or if I've got any problems. That seems to work out pretty good, although I see I'm going to have to replace the Velcro on that one. But all the knocking around and stuff that goes on in the back of the truck, that stuff still hangs on pretty good. And all of this stuff is weatherproof, so it doesn't matter if it's outside or inside. gets the job done. This battery box was a pretty good investment. It keeps everything nice and clean and dry. I don't have to worry about any shorts from water getting in or anything. This battery is an Optima Marine battery. It's a lithium battery, which means that there's no liquid in there, so a guy can mount this thing upside down, sideways, or whatever. Don't have to worry about anything leaking out. Don't have to worry about keeping it topped off with water or anything like that. It's a deep cycle battery, so it's okay to run it down darn near to nothing, because it'll charge right back up. And with the solar array, because you can't charge them fast, with the solar array, it powers it just right, so it works pretty good, especially during those times when there isn't much sunlight. Again, this is the cord from the array, and that one's 25 feet. And I was trying to demonstrate there that that's where the power comes from, but I'm showing you the wrong gauge. But that's okay, trust me. It is getting power from the array, although it's not charging right now. And although you can't see it, this is a cloudy day, and in fact, I had to hurry up and do this video because it started to rain. Again, there's the 30 amp fuse. I don't normally anticipate drawing 30 amps, but a dead short will blow that fuse right quick, and that's a good thing. So now let's get to the main part here. This is where all that power is going. This is Mobile One, and essentially it's a Lenovo notebook computer. They actually call it a netbook because, as you'll learn in a later video, that computer is actually set up to work on AT&T's wireless network. As you can see, everything here is already plugged into the computer, and if I wanted to, I could use it just like it was. But the beauty of this little table here is that it's very lightweight, and it sets up in seconds, as long as I don't pinch any wires. There we go. And the only other thing I need to do right now is set up the speakers, because this, among other things, is also my entertainment system. So I picked up a pair of these speakers here that they stick to each other magnetically, and once I figure out which one's the left side and which one's the right side, with a little bit of Velcro, I can set those up. And then I'm ready to go. So now, unless I can get done what I want to do in 45 minutes, because that's all I get out of the laptop battery. I'll need to hook this up to external power. Solar array came with a 25-foot cable, and it also came with this extra 15-foot cable. So now, with a simple connection, boom, I have power, and I can pretty much at this point do whatever I need to do for as long as I need to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and fire up the laptop. This is a Lenovo S10 netbook, and it is running Windows XP, which means that it takes a few seconds to actually boot up. And just like to point out that in addition to the speakers, I've also at this time have connected to this computer down there at the lower left. That is an Accurite weather station that's wirelessly connected to a anemometer, wind vane, and rain gauge barometer, so that while I'm out, I always have an opportunity to see what's coming weather-wise. In the back there, next to the left speaker, that's a external hard drive. And on the right there, next to that little bundle of wire, that round thing there, that is a Garmin GPS receiver that I like to have to let me know where I am. This computer came with face recognition software that allows you to actually log on to the computer without having to touch it. That's that little window that just popped up there. And normally I just kind of stand in front of the computer and let it have a look at me, and it'll log me in. But like I said, it was a cloudy day, and it just wasn't enough light. It happens. So I'm going to have to log in manually and type in my password, and you don't need to say that, so pardon me. So now this thing's going to go ahead and load up, and just so that now that you know what I got, we'll take a little trip down memory lane so you can get an idea of how well all of this actually works. I was getting pretty worried because I had just gotten all this stuff here hooked up, and was starting to enjoy it and wasn't paying attention to how much juice I was using, and I'm listening to music and digging on the nature and all that stuff, and next thing you knew, everything started shutting down. Used up all my juice. That was 8 o'clock last night, Alaska daylight time. So I had to shut everything off. Notebook went into hibernating mode. Still had some juice in the cell phone, so I shut it off to conserve power and unplugged everything, and left it up to the wind or to the solar bank. But it was late and it was cloudy, and I said, well, we'll just see what happens. and it started to rain around about 10 o'clock. Light rain, nothing hard, just a light rain, but just enough to let me know that it was still cloudy, so I could still continue to worry about whether or not I was going to get any juice back. So I did some reading, finally just went to sleep. Woke up in the morning about 6 o'clock. It's still cloudy. It's not raining though. So, and I look over at the charger and it still said charging. Now I know that on a cloudy day I can still get juice out of that solar panel. But I don't have any kind of meter on here, so I wasn't really, I didn't have any way of knowing how much or, but I knew eventually the battery would charge. I just had no idea how long. Anyway, I'm sitting there and about 8 o'clock, bam, battery's charged. All right. So I plug in the laptop and just let that battery charge and continue to just muck around doing this, that, and the other thing. And eventually, about, I don't know, somewhere between 10 and noon, the laptop battery was charged. Light turned blue. So, yeah, and I plugged in the cell phone too, just to be sure. So I plugged them both in, and they were eventually by noon they were both fully charged and ready to go. So as you can see, Mobile One works pretty good with just a minimum of effort. It's still a work in progress, and through trial and error, mostly error, I'll have it refined to the point where it'll be pretty reliable and able to keep me informed and in touch no matter where I go. See you next time.